Lori, Mark, Dr. Ann McKee may be best known for this, a brain scan of former NFL tight end turned murderer Aaron Hernandez. This is a healthy brain right here, a scan of a healthy brain, and this right here is Hernandez's brain. He died at 27 years old. Dr. McKee has also studied the brains of former Seahawks, including the man who was married to Cindy Feasel for nearly 30 years.
He was the center, and he also was the deep snapper. Grant's neck was jammed in his head every single play of the game. I don't think Grant had a chance. I had no idea that the brain was like Jell-O or an egg yolk, and I don't really think he knew that either, even though he had gone to school for 4 years and been a pre-med student.
This is a cross-section, a slice of half of his brain. Every time you see anything brown here, it's abnormal. All this brown is tau protein inside nerve cells, and that's what the tau does. It builds up inside the nerve cells, and eventually it cuts off their functioning. Your heart just goes out to these guys because he knew something was wrong, and he was behaving in ways he couldn't control.
Grant became more agitated with me. He became unorganized. He couldn't keep anything together. He couldn't keep his work stuff together. He couldn't keep any of our personal stuff together. The saddest part of it all for me is that I didn't know until after Grant died that he was brain damaged.
Do you feel a sense of regret because you didn't know?
Okay, now I can't start crying. I'm just saying that, yeah. I mean, I loved him.
Even if you stop playing football once it's gotten settled in, it becomes a progressive disease that slowly affects the entire brain. He had severe CTE. I know he was in his 50s when he died, but he had CTE that had started to affect widespread regions of his brain. It was really riddled with disease.
She said that if he'd lived for 1 more year, he would have been mindless. It all started making sense to me that Grant had been losing his mind our entire marriage.
Not only is this Boston University program collecting the brains of deceased Seahawks players, Dr. McKee has a request for the living.
So my dad pledged his brain, which I was a little upset at first, because I was like, listen dude, you're pledging your brain, but I'm the person who's gonna have to deal with all this when you're gone. And then I thought about it, and why wouldn't I donate my brain? I feel like I have a healthy brain. I thought, well, they're gonna need brains that are asymptomatic. People who played football or played sports for a long period of time and don't, feel like they have issues. I don't feel like I have issues.
What's the end zone, so to speak?
The end goal has always been to help future generations, to help future athletes, to help future military veterans. What we want to really do is learn how to detect this during life. We really want to be able to treat this disease.
In addition to Boston University, Dr. McKee also studies traumatic brain injury for the Veterans Administration in Boston. So this isn't just about football. Dr. McKee has made great strides in identifying this disease, and now she wants to help people come up with a way to treat it in living athletes and veterans, as you heard her say.
Right. So Chris, you sent out a survey last year. 90% of all Seahawks responded and said, I'm worried about my brain. I'm guessing they have good reason to worry.
Yeah, right.
Who else is pledging their brain other than Matt Hasselbeck?
Actually, there's some pretty good names out there. Lofa Tatupu, Sean Springs, some names you may recognize from the past. About a half dozen living Seahawks have publicly committed to it. And like Cortez Kennedy's families, loved ones want answers too, so there are more surviving family members out there who are willing to donate as well after death.